Hola besties, welcome back to my channel. This is the most impulsive video ever. I literally just made up my mind that I'm gonna film this video in like 2 seconds, and I did my makeup and now I'm here. So today I have a video about one of my favorite book tropes ever, which is the he falls first book trope. If you don't know what that trope is, it's basically when the guy is like the biggest simp for the girl and he falls for her first and she has no idea that he even has feelings for her. And so I love that trope so much. I love reading about it, and so I thought I'd make a recommendations video where I'm telling you guys my favorite books with that trope in it. So I'm gonna stop rambling. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so I wanted to start with one of my favorite books that I read, which is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, and it's actually a movie, which I watched the movie before I actually read the book, and they're both so good. I love that the movie did this book justice. Okay, they're just so good together. This book is basically about two co-workers who really just don't really like each other. Actually, they hate each other and they're always like fighting at work, and there's just a lot of tension between them. And then one day there's a spicy elevator kiss, and now they both don't really know what to do about it. And also they're competing for a promotion, and Lucy, who's the main character, she just refuses to back down. But like also there's just a lot of tension between her and Josh Templeman, and Josh is just like the biggest simp for her, but she doesn't know, but he's like the biggest simp for her. And I just love their dynamic so much. I love the humor in this book, I love the spice, I just love everything about this book, and I thought it was so cute. And yeah, so this is one of my favorite books that has the he falls first trope in it. Obsessed. Another one of my favorite books with the he falls first trope in it is Reminders of Him by Miss Colleen Hoover. You guys know you would not get a book video from me without the mention of Miss Coho, okay? She did what she had to do in this book. She put her whole pussy in this book, okay? So Reminders of Him is basically about a mom, and she just got released from jail, and she's looking to reconnect with her 5-year-old daughter. And she meets this guy Ledger, and without like her even knowing, but he has connections to her daughter and he's very close to her daughter, and they start developing a relationship. But them even communicating could really put Ledger's relationship with her daughter at risk. But Ledger is the biggest simp for Kenna, and he is one of my favorite book boyfriends. Just the way he treated her, how he literally took all this risk, and the relationship together is just so good. And even like the plot, the storyline, this entire book is one of my favorites. This book has my heart. Entire storyline is really good, but I love Ledger so much, like the way he treated her and how he really went out. I just love it so much. And I even cried about this book. I cried in my reading wrap up even talking about it, because this book is so freaking sad, but it's also really good. And I love Ledger and Kenna. I love their relationship. I just 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Then I want to mention two books by Miss Hazelwood, which has the he falls first trope in it. Which first one I want to talk about is The Love Hypothesis. I feel like if you're a reader, you've seen this book. This book is everywhere. This book is basically about a PhD candidate, or like a PhD student, and she's a science girly, and she is trying to convince her best friend that she is no longer having feelings for her ex-boyfriend, so her best friend can date him, which is a little bit weird because that's so against girl code. I don't know anyone who would do that, but she's trying to convince her best friend, like, I'm over him, like, you can have him. And so one day while her best friend's looking, she like randomly kisses this PhD professor, and now they're thrown into like this whole big dating scenario, and he's kind of willingly going along with it, and they have to hang out all the time, and so people can see them together. And that's basically the plot of the story. But Adam, he was seen as like super stoic, and like no one really, you know, messed with him in the story, or like no one really liked him because he was like such a hard-ass professor. But he was like the biggest simp for her, and you could just tell like he really liked her or had feelings for her, and she was just so oblivious about it. And I love that this had science elements in it because I'm a science girly, and I don't know, I just thought like he was so cute and they're so cute, and I thought, you know, their story so cute. This was such a good book, and I thought this book did the he falls first trope so well. also fake dating trope if you're into that, but such a cute book and I love it so much. So then another book by Miss Hazelwood, which is Love on the Brain, which I believe this is her sophomore book, but this book is basically about Levi Ward and Bee and their arch nemesis. They do not like each other and now they're thrown into like a new work project and they have to work very closely, and everything with Bee's, you know, machines and stuff keeps messing up and she thinks like Adam's out to get her. But while they're working closely together, they're starting to spend a lot more time together and she realizes like Levi Ward is not that bad. She's like, oh, he's overpacking his snacks and now he has leftovers and I always get his leftovers. The whole time he's bringing additional snacks for her. That is so cute. So I feel like this book does the he falls first trope so well. This book has just really good plot points. Also a STEM book, or like it has girls in STEM in it, or women in STEM, which I live for. I love the plot twist in this book too. It's such a cute romance, contemporary romance book. Then another 2 books from the off-campus series by Elle Kennedy that actually has the he falls first trope in it, which is The Score by Elle Kennedy and The Deal by Elle Kennedy. And these are 2 college romances and they also have like hockey players in it and they're so cute. I'm obsessed with both of these books and they're actually my 2 favorite ones out of the series, and unsurprisingly they have my favorite tropes in it. But this one basically has like the friends with benefits trope because it goes with Ali Hayes and Dean DeLaurentis, and he's like the star hockey player. He's like super cocky. He's like the stereotypical hockey player, which I feel like all the books in the series have like stereotypical guys. But one day Ali stays at Dean's apartment because he's best friends with her best friend's boyfriend, and they start playing a drinking game. They drunkenly hook up, and so now Dean becomes very obsessed with her, and so he proposes a friends with benefits situation, which Ali agrees to. But Dean ultimately just becomes like the biggest simp for her, and we get to see that in this entire book, and I thought this book was so cute. I love like a good college romance. Also love these books because like they're super funny, and you know, I very much enjoy that. I very much enjoy Dean DeLaurentis, and yeah, this is a really good book and I'm obsessed with his character. Also, this book, The Deal by Elle Kennedy, has Hannah Wells and Garrett Graham, and they're so freaking cute together. But basically Hannah, she's never really attracted to anyone. Like she is never attracted to guys because of something bad that happened to her in the past, and so she finds this one guy who's a football player that she's attracted to, but she doesn't really, you know how to flirt, or like she doesn't know how to get his attention. So here comes Garrett Graham, and he needs to be tutored in a class that he's failing because he's a hockey player, and if he wants to go pro he has to pass this class or at least be able to play hockey. And so he gets Hannah to tutor him. In exchange, he will teach her like how to flirt and how to get this guy that she has a crush on attention. And while this is happening, he just really starts catching feelings for her, and I don't know, they just become such a cute couple. I'm obsessed with Garrett Graham's character as well. I thought he was just so cute, and just them together and him being ultimately the biggest simp for her, I love. So love this book so much, love this book down, period. Then this is one of my favorite books and one of like my first books that I read once I started reading again, which is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas, and this book is so freaking cute. It's very similar to The Hating Game, kind of like the plot line. Catalina Martin, she basically works with Aaron Blackford and they do not like each other at all. And Catalina is from Spain and now she lives in America, and she told her family like, oh, I have a boyfriend, and now her sister's getting married and she does not have a date. And so Aaron kind of like volunteers as tribute, which is weird because why would you do that if you don't like her, you know? Like, why? But anyway, he volunteers as tribute, and so now him and Catalina are in Spain. They're attending her sister's wedding, and they're kind of like fake pretending to like each other, fake dating essentially. But he is like the biggest simp for her, and you can just tell. I think anyone in a 9-mile radius could tell he has feelings for her, and she's like so oblivious about it. But the entire like chemistry between them, obsessed. They're so cute, and like I just love the slow burn of it all. I love how cute they were. You can tell he's been obsessed with her since they met, but she was just so oblivious to it, which I feel like all the girls in these books are just so oblivious. I don't get it. the last book I want to talk about that has a he falls first trope in it is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. And this book is, I think, probably her most popular book because this book blew up on TikTok. But it's basically about an influencer, and she's like an out of control influencer. She gets landed in jail, and so now her dad's like, no, you need to go back to your hometown and become humble and calm yourself and just take a break from like this crazy influencer lifestyle. And so she goes to this town that she's from, and it's kind of like a small fisherman's town. It's like very cozy, humble. It's just very different for her because she's gotten so used to living a very luxurious elite lifestyle. And so she meets Brandon there, and they're immediately kind of hating on each other. They don't really like each other because they're so different, where she's very like, you know, luxurious and fancy. He's like a very humbled fisherman, and so they don't like each other. But over time they kept running into each other, and eventually they started hanging out, and he became the biggest simp for her, and he gave up his whole business for her. I mean, what more do you want? Okay, this book was so cute. It was super spicy, which if you like spicy books, definitely recommend. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, and definitely check out my other videos because they're also really cute. And subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys next time. Love you guys so much. Bye.
Ooh, I'm gonna pull up shawty to the side. She keep coming at me every day and night. When I left in my life started feeling right, yeah.